I am becoming more and more convinced that we are not on a search for happiness, but we are on a search for peace of mind. Every person in this world is running a story constantly around their brain, and it is exhausting. Think about when you do the dishes, if you do the dishes. Do you feel the sensation of the dish in your hands? Do you feel the warmth of the water? Do you hear the clink of the cutlery and the slipperiness of the soap suds? No. You're thinking about that meeting that you've got tomorrow, the emails that you have not got to, and you're thinking about what you have to make for dinner. The story in our head is exhausting. And the story is always in the past or it is in the future. So when you're in the past, you're not thinking, I've had the best life. You're thinking about that person that walked into your office and was disrespectful to you. You're going over and over in your mind about that one person that never invited you to their lunch. I know 70-year-olds who obsess about the fact that they were unfairly treated at school. And when you're in the future, you're not thinking, life is just going to get better and better from here. I'm sure I'm going to be much happier in a year's time. You're worrying about whether you're going to make enough money and whether your child is going to get into the right university. With all of this past and future thinking, it is mostly negative. Not always, but mostly. What happens in your brain is the neurochemical changes that occur just through negative thinking. Just thinking raises your adrenaline, it raises your cortisol levels, and it has an effect on your physiology. It makes your blood pressure go up, it makes your blood sugar increase, your cholesterol rise, and your immune system drops. It makes you ill. So there's a very good reason why most of our thinking is negative. We need to be much more aware of what could go wrong rather than what could go right. It is a biological imperative that keeps us alive. When I was wandering around the savannah a million years ago, minding my own business, I needed to pay much more attention to the saber-toothed tiger than to the nice juicy berries. Because if the saber-toothed tiger ate me, I wouldn't be there to enjoy the nice juicy berries. The other problem with our brain pretty much functions like a computer. So you know with your computer, when you open up file after file after file, what happens to your computer? That's right, it gets slow. Until eventually you see that spinning ball of doom that signifies that your computer is about to crash. The brain is the same. The more thoughts you're having, the more obsessing that you're doing, the slower your brain becomes until eventually it becomes useless. So we need to get out of this past and this future, and we need to get into the present. In the present moment, there is no anxiety, there is no fear, there is no worry. There just is the present moment. The state is not supernatural. It is not magical, but it's solidly grounded in science, and specifically neuroscience. You have the cognitive capacity to be in control of your mind, and this is called mindfulness. There's a very, very important part of our brain that we use when we are controlling our mind, and it's called the ventrolateral prefrontal cortex, right here, left and right temple. The ventrolateral prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that you use for emotional regulation, you use for self-control. Now, we know from neuroplasticity, whichever part of your brain you're using, that part becomes stronger, thicker, and denser. You know, when you go to gym and you lift a weight, and you lift that weight, and your muscle becomes stronger and thicker and denser. It's the same with your brain. Whichever part you're using becomes stronger, thicker, and denser. This is useful when you want to walk past that chocolate cake and resist it. So I'm going to take you to gym, to that metaphorical gym, where I'm going to help you understand that you all have the ability to control your mind. This is easy, but the key is not to be judgmental. What will happen when I take you to a point in the present moment is your mind will wander, because that's what minds do. And all you need to go is, oh, how curious, there goes my mind, and bring it back to the present moment. Would you care to join me? Sit comfortably in your chair. Allow yourself to relax. If you wish, you may close your eyes. And to begin with, just feel the sensation of your feet in your shoes. Now notice the sensation of your legs against the chair. Feel any sensations in your stomach. You might feel tightness. Allow your stomach to relax. Now notice your breath as you breathe in and out. Breathing in cool air and breathing out warm air. Notice any visual images you can see behind your eyelids, dark, shape. Hear any sounds around us. Pay attention to your fingertips, so you might feel tingling, pulsing. And pay attention once more to your breathing as you breathe in and out. And you can slowly open your eyes. This is a great technique at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, when your brain is going around and around and around, all the dramas of your day. This is very useful for me this week, when on Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock, I still didn't have my visa and my flight was 9 o'clock the next morning. When I slept, I just had to feel the bed sheets, listen to the sounds of the night air, and I was able to relax. You might have noticed sounds that you hadn't heard before, or felt sensations like the tingling in your fingertips. The world becomes a much richer and more profound place when we are present in it. A Harvard University study found that short-term meditators used 43% less medical services. Even a short meditation like we've just done drops your cortisol levels by an average of 50%. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. A research in Juma Medical magazine found that even a short-term meditation every day has got the equivalent effect of taking an antidepressant. So I'd like to share a story with you. After the last time I was in Hyderabad, I fell in love. And this man that I've fallen in love with, he's got a kind of an analytical and cerebral, common sense mind. And he said to me, Cole, please tell people that they don't have to meditate. They don't have to close their eyes and chant and light incense when they're doing this present moment experience. Tell them they can do it anyway. And actually, he's right. So, although I loved chanting, meditating, and lighting incense when I was in Rishikesh, you can do this anywhere, anytime, even while you're driving your car. Just don't close your eyes. Notice the sounds in the traffic. You've got lots of those sounds in this city. notice the blue sky, walk in nature, feel the grass, smell the scents. I literally fell in love. It was March 2016, and I was on my bicycle in a bicycle race, intense, competitive, and a person in front of me hit a bump and went over on his bicycle. I crashed my bicycle into his. I went flying over the handlebars and smashed my face right into the tar. So I was taken to hospital, and they completely rebuilt my wrist using donor bone, using metal. I still have all that metal in my wrist. I had fractures in my face. I've got metal plates across my forehead. I have metal plates in my cheek here. And I don't set off the alarms in the airport. It's titanium. And while I was recuperating, this man appeared at my bedside, and he hasn't left. I needed to be stopped in my tracks, to open myself to the opportunity for love and for joy. Please don't fall with your face on the tar. So it's not just about being in the present moment. Imagining that's going to bring success is madness. We need to be intentional about how we are present in our lives. I have worked with ordinary people who became heroes in their own world. These people became intentional about how they were living their lives. Jay, a cyclist, who became the top open-seated cyclist in South Africa. He was paid intentional attention to his nutrition, to his training methodologies. Bhargavi became one of the best business people in Bangalore, overcoming great personal tragedy, and she's here today. Jason won an international idols competition. These people, Jay, Bhargavi, Jason, were intentional about how they were present in their meetings, in a race, and on the stage. A great study that I really, really love, and I'd love to share with you. Professor Ellen Langer at Harvard University, she decides to do this experiment with dolphins. So she takes the dolphin trainers, puts them into two separate groups. The first group, she says to the dolphin trainers, be mindful. The second group says, do what you ordinarily do. And her team observe the dolphins. The dolphins in the mindfulness group, they perform better, jump higher, swim faster, and they come spontaneously of their own accord towards the dolphin trainers. Now extrapolate this to your children. Your children know when you're present and when you're not. And when you're present, they perform better. I don't think you want them to jump higher. And they come spontaneously of their own accord towards you. Be present with your children and not with your cell phone. Can you imagine being burnt at the stake? And don't worry, we're not going to do that if you use your cell phone today. 50,000 women in Europe suffered an excruciating death because they were believed to be practicing witchcraft. 215,000 students in the United States have been exposed to gun violence since Columbine. 1 million Rwandans were slaughtered by their own countrymen in 100 days, and all because people believed that they were right. Now think about an argument you've had. Any argument. It could be a huge argument, it could be a minor disagreement, it could have been yesterday, it could have been 20 years ago. You were right, weren't you? And not only were you right, but you're gathering evidence to this very day about your rightness. Don't choose to be right, choose to be happy. So we need to get out of this constant need to justify ourselves, improve ourselves. We need to get out of the self-obsessed ego identity that always tries to prove that we're right. And we need to step into consciousness, into that present state of being, that state of your inner being, your inner essence. You are not successful or a failure. You are not important or not important. You are not good or bad, worthy or worthless. Those are things you do or things you experience, and you are not human doings, you are human beings. So you need to step into that conscious space of being, because this is where peace of mind exists. In my life, I've experienced a platter of trauma and difficulties, from failure, from addiction, infertility, from loss, obesity, from mental illness, mental disability, adoption, divorce, suicide, accidents. The story in my head was one of pain and one of failure, right into my 40s. And then I discovered mindfulness and neuroplasticity. A few years ago, I stood in front of 5 students to present a class. It was the most terrifying thing I had ever done. Okay, they were teenagers, and I still find them a bit terrifying. Today, I'm standing in front of 2,500 people here in Hyderabad. I failed at school, I dropped out of university twice, and this week I'm handing in my completed PhD dissertation. The gift that I bring to this place today is the gift of presence, the gift of being in the present moment. Every person in this room has got great challenges, or will have great challenges and great difficulties. Asking it not to be is like asking the wind not to blow. But you have the capacity to navigate those challenges, to navigate those difficulties. When you do it in the present moment, when you let go of that conditioned identity and you bring yourself mindfully, intentionally, and consciously to the present. Thank you.